Nancy. Welcome to Chow Time. On the menu today, I'm going to make a delicious dish featuring smoked oysters. But first, I need a little inspiration. So, I am north of San Francisco, about an hour's drive, right here on the Tomales Bay. I can do it for the 73 others.
Oh yeah.
At a place called the Marshall Store. They specialize in smoked oysters. Now, I'm inspired. I don't know how many dozens of those smoked oysters we had at the Marshall Store, but they were so addicting. I also tried something there that I've never had before. They had oysters, roasted oysters, with chorizo sausage. Now my first thought was, that spicy sausage might be a little too strong for the delicate flavor of an oyster. Nope, it was fantastic. And so from all this, you'll be able to see what inspired me to make this dish. So the first thing I have going is I have my boiling water for my fettuccine. So put a handful of salt in there. Get these noodles cooking. You want to make sure to keep separating them so they don't cook together in a blob. So once they're kind of moistened and separated, we can just let them roll. Over here, I have a very simple sauce I'm going to put on that fettuccine when it's done. I have a small can of tomato paste. And I'm going to stir in about a half a cup of heavy cream. And we'll just set that aside for now. Back to the stove. Let me just check my pasta. I have a little bit of olive oil in the skillet, and I've got about 2/3 of a pound of bulk chorizo sausage. And we're going to brown that sausage up. And as the chorizo cooks, keep breaking it up as finely as you can. Now to the chorizo, I'm going to add 3 cloves of garlic that I minced. Let that cook for just a few seconds. I'm going to add about, half a cup of chicken stock. Maybe a little bit more. Let's call that 2/3 of a cup. And when that comes to a boil, I'm going to add 1 pound of shucked oysters. And notice there's some nice oyster juice in there. I want to keep the heat up fairly high because the oysters will only take about 5 or 6 minutes to cook. I also want to cook down some of the liquids. Reduce that a little bit. Let's do a pasta check. Very close, but not perfect. See, this is reducing nicely. Now I drained my pasta, never rinse it, and I'm just going to put in about 1/4 cup of olive oil and stir it in there so it doesn't stick. Then I'm going to add my creamy tomato paste. Stir that in. Look at that cool pink color. Just going to put a low flame underneath it to warm that through. Okay, that looks good, so I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to add 2 more things. I'm going to add liquid smoke. It's very strong stuff, so I'm just going to add about 1/2 teaspoon. That's absolutely plenty. And the juice of 1 lemon. Just mix that in. This is warmed through. So now we can plate. First, a bed of creamy tomato fettuccine. And then on top, my smoked Oyster-Chorizo sauce. And that is a thing of beauty. Get a little fettuccine. Make sure I get an oyster in there. And there's some chorizo. I've never made anything like this before. The smoky flavor comes right out. The sausage is perfect, the pasta is perfect with just a little bit of creamy tomato. This is a pretty cool dish. And see what I mean about travel? I don't go anywhere without being inspired in some way, shape, or form. So thank you, the Marshall Store in Northern California.